Weapons, a 2025 horror film, begins with a young narrator explaining that one night, 17 out of 18 children from the same class abruptly got out of their beds and vanished. We next see Alex, the 18th pupil and the single survivor of this unusual tragedy. The parents blame Justin Gandy, the third-grade homeroom teacher, for the children's disappearance. Meanwhile, Archer Graff, the father of one of the students named Matthew, decides to look into the situation on his own. Archer, like the rest of the town, blames Justine for his son's death. He follows her to a petrol station and attempts to ask her questions. However, the school principal, Marcus Miller, arrives in a disheveled state and attacks Justine. In the film's closing scene, a woman named Gladys appears at Alex's house, claiming to be Alex's mother. Mrs. Lily's aunt, Alex's father, Mr. Lilly, and Alex are not pleased because they have never met the woman. Mrs. Lilly informs her husband that the woman is very old and has no one to look after her. On the first night of her stay, Alex sneaks into the room and discovers Aunt Gladys to be a frail, bony, and feeble lady on the edge of death as she lies on the bed. Alex's father sends him off at school, warning that Aunt Gladys will not live longer than a month due to her health. Alex waits for his father to pick him up after school, but when Mr. Lilly does not show up, he goes home. At home, he is surprised to see Aunt Gladys looking normal and healthy, in contrast to how she appeared earlier that day. He also notes that his parents aren't being themselves and are seated at the table like robots. Alex attempts to elicit a reaction from his father, but this also fails. Alex soon realizes that Aunt Gladys has taken over his parents' spirits and is sucking the youth out of their comparatively younger bodies. Aunt Gladys threatens Alex's parents with self-harm in order to scare him. She also warns Alex not to tell the truth about her to anyone at school. With no adult to look after him, Alex begins to fulfill her directions, such as buying groceries, cleaning the house, and feeding his parents. We observe how, despite taking over Alex's parents' souls, Aunt Gladys continues to age. Alex inquires about what is going on, and she requests that he bring one object belonging to each of his classmates. Aunt Gladys' unusual request stems from her desire to achieve the fountain of youth by seizing possession of the souls of children who still have many years of youth in them. Alex makes Aunt Gladys agree to depart after he fulfills her request. The next day at school, he sneaks the name cards of each pupil. Aunt Gladys casts the spell in the middle of the night, causing all the children to flee their homes and enter Alex's house, where she feeds on their youth. Following the student's abduction, Principal Marcus urges Alex to bring his parents to school. Aunt Gladys shows up to school as his temporary guardian. Marcus refuses to speak with Gladys, insisting on meeting Alex's parents. Gladys is not pleased with this. She visits his residence one day and performs a ceremony. Marcus, who has been possessed by Gladys, is forced to kill his husband. He then flees to find Justine and murders her. However, Archer intervenes and Justine escapes in her car. Marcus chases her down and is hit by an incoming automobile, which runs over his head, leaving a mangled mess behind and kills him instantaneously. Gladys kidnaps a heroin addict named James and a problematic police officer named Paul, much as she did with the Lillys and Marcus. Archer realizes that Principal Marcus was sprinting similarly to the disappeared youngsters, as seen on the CCTV tape. He shows Justine the map he was drawing to figure out which direction the kids had gone. Justine comes to the conclusion that Alex's house is the only one in that direction. The two head to Alex's place and check what is going on there. Meanwhile, Aunt Gladys fears she will be discovered and encourages Alex to pack his belongings as they prepare to leave town. James and Paul, who are also imprisoned by the witch, end up sheltering Gladys, who is hiding in her bedroom. Aunt Gladys asks Paul to bring Archer and Justine inside because they are waiting outside the home and making it difficult for her to go. She hides in her chamber and casts a spell so that whoever enters the room will be attacked by Alex's parents, Paul and James. Aunt Gladys informs Alex about the spell, but he attempts to enter the room to alert the two. This causes Mr. and Mrs. Lilly want to kill Alex, so they pursue him. James pursues and attempts to kill Alex, while Paul attempts to kill Justine. Justine kills Paul and saves Archer by killing James. Archer is looking for his son when Auntie Gladys sneaks up on him and takes his chain. She casts a spell on him and Archer attacks Justine. To protect himself from his parents, Alex hides inside his room, but when he realizes they are not stopping, he imitates Gladys and casts a spell on her with some of her hair. Gladys senses that something is awry and flees the house. The 17 children pursue Gladys and attack her, gouging her eyes, tearing her face apart, and killing her in the process. When Gladys dies, the spell ends. Archer is free, as are Alex's parents. When Archer rushes out to hunt for his kid, he discovers all of the children standing around Gladys' dead body. Archer takes his son home. Meanwhile, Justine searches for Alex and discovers him holding his parents, who appear too far gone to return to normal. The narrator states that 1 year after the incidents, Alex's parents are sent to a mental health facility, where someone else feeds them soup. It is also mentioned that Alex relocates to another town and lives with another of his aunts. Meanwhile, as the film concludes, only a few of the children who disappeared that night have begun to speak again.